Samandana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishchaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nivrittarshe upagiyamana bhavo shadachotra manobhirama kauttama shloka gunanuvarnane purushams pashuk purushams vrajit vina pashuk gnat. This Krishna Katha is the remedy for bhavo shadat, to free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. And Krishna Katha includes the Katha about Supreme Lord and the Katha of Supreme Lord, primarily Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm so grateful to all of you for giving your wonderful association, coming out, joining on this Zoom platform, and giving all of us this chance to be together and chant the name, form, qualities of the Supreme Lord. So we will begin. We were reading chapter 9 last time, the most confidential knowledge. Paramaguhya Gyan, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. This is the knowledge is the highest of all knowledge, and this process is very, very joyfully performed. So we will start reading from where we stopped last time. Anyone remembers anything from the last discussion? We read text number 4 to 10. Any point, any comments, any thoughts from the last discussion anyone wants to share?
Eternal Lord is omnipotent everywhere. You said not even a blade of grass moves. एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता उनकी मर्जी के बिना.
Yes, that's the Lord is present everywhere, and we discussed that Andantarastha, in every atom He's present. Yet that does not mean, we discussed this point, the 4th and 5th verse, right? Matsthani sarva bhutani, and then the 5th verse said, Nacha matsthani sarva bhutani. That although He's present everywhere, that does not mean that His identity as Bhagavan is lost. He's always present in Goloka Vrindavan and doing His wonderful. That was one of the main points which many people have this doubt, confusion. So He's present in the 3 aspects as Brahman, Paramatma, and the Bhagavan aspect. All we need to do is develop those eyes or transcendentalize our eyes to see the hand of Lord in each and every aspect. So let's start reading from the next verse, which is text number, I think, 11. We have to start. So we'll go to text 11. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. So like always, you can raise your hand in case you're interested to read. So we'll start with Nita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Avjananti mammudha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. This is one of the very, very important verses. And this brings us to our next alphabet in our acronym, K-I-N-G. The acronym is King, if you remember. The K stands for the knowledge, the topmost knowledge, the king of all knowledge. And the I stands for the inconceivable relationships, text 4 to 10. So now we are going to the end of the non-believers or the non-worshippers. So Krishna explains, as he explained in chapter 7 as well, that there are many, many kind of people who deride his personal form. And who think, there could be, you also meet people so many times. There could be so many people who have so many conceptions about God, isn't it? Now, and just think about, it is so illogical. Like, for example, if I ask you, if someone has got a brain tumor, can you operate that person, right? Anyone here raise their hand to say that you can operate a person with brain tumor and fix his situation, right? No, right? Which is fine, right? We don't need to know everything in the world, right? That's fine. So that the short answer is sorry. It's not in my domain. I'm not qualified to answer that question, or I don't know anything about it. I just have heard of the thing called brain tumor. That's all I know. I don't know anything beyond that, which is absolutely fine. But what is brain? A tiny part of our body, isn't it? Brain is tiny part of our body. Body has so many parts, so many organs, organ systems, so many nerves and arteries, and such a complex interaction of systems going on. And that's just for our tiny body. And amongst millions of bodies available, 8.4 million species. Now, a special doctor. Now, can every doctor do that? No. Even in medical, there are so many fields and subfields and specialists and super specialists who can only do this task, right? Very, very selected person can do this task. Now, if you ask this question, who is God? Who is God? Will anyone say, sorry, I don't know? Maybe 1 in 99. 99 will say something. Do you agree with that? Right? 99% of the population will say something, right? Someone will say, I am God. Someone say God is not there. Someone say everyone is God. Someone will say God is a mountain. Someone will say God is earth. Someone will say God is this. Someone will say God is that. Now just think about, it is so illogical. For a tiny part of the brain, we don't know how that system works. And to comment on the supreme personality of God at the cause of all causes, the master of all masters, the supreme director, as we discussed, Maya Dhyakshina Prakriti, so everything rests upon him, everything is working under his direction, and we, out of no knowledge, no experience, no proper bona fide Guru Sadhu Shastra, comment on God. And many, many people not just comment, they also cheat other people, right? By, there are so many gullible followers, and then they develop, blind leading the blind. So in the Bhagavatam, there is a verse which the blind people are leading the blind people, right? Because if the guru does not, or the so-called guru they themselves don't have proper knowledge about this understanding of who is God, then how can they teach others about who is God? So then they sometimes, so now what all are the different types of people who think that that God cannot come in the form of a human, right? One of the common points is that if I am a human, I have two hands, two legs, and if God also has two hands, two legs, then he cannot be God, right? That's one of the common things. But the Bhagavatam, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam explains that his form is Satchidananda. Our form is made up of matter, earth, water, fire, air, ether. But his form is transcendental. Namam Ishwaram Satchidananda Rupam. Right? The first verse of the Damodara Ashtakam. So therefore, we need to understand that Krishna descends. Now, another reason we can give or to understand this, how many of us chose which city I want to be born, which set of parents, mother, father I want to be born, which country I want to be born? Anyone? Did anyone choose that? No, but Krishna chooses that. There are a lot of scientific, even like reasons from the scriptures, reasons from the Shastras, and reasons from even like Krishna's Leela. For example, how if we just lift our hand for 7 minutes, it will start paining. But Krishna lifted the 7 uh, days and 7 nights, the Govardhan Hill, which is presently about 22 kilometers, about 15 miles in circumference. So all these reasons we can understand that yes, he comes in the human form, but fools deride. But those who are intelligent, they can see that this is none other than my Supreme Lord. So I think we discussed last time also on this point, the Brahma Vimohan Leela also we discussed. So these are important points. And Prabhupada is giving a very, very nice purport, very great detail Prabhupada is mentioning. Another point Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, if a soul surrendered to Krishna, some people say that Krishna also comes under the grip of the 3 modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, or the birth, old age, disease, etc. If a soul surrendered to Krishna can get out of the influence of material energy, then how can the Supreme Lord be under the material energy who conducts, maintains, and orchestrates all this entire universe? How can he be under the grip? Right? That's another reason we can logically understand all these points. So if anyone derives the existence of God, then this purport is Prabhupada mentioned in 4 pages, practically 4 or 5 pages. Prabhupada is giving a lot of detail. So therefore, we should have firm faith in the existence of God through reasonable logic, through the scriptures, through the words of great devotees, and through, if someone is honest and introspective, one will understand. Even great scientists like Einstein, Newton, etc., they believe, and so many famous personalities, they also believe. If one is honest and humble, one will come to this understanding that some super power, the Supreme Lord, a person, right? Very, very important. A person is running the show. If we have a form, then how can God be impersonal? Because form does not come from formless, right? Energy comes from energetic, not vice versa, right? A quick story. And one time there was a very rich person, and he was doing like a langar, bandara, like a free food. And in India, so a lot of people came, and there was a big queue, almost a mile long, because everyone wanted to get the free plate of food. So, and in line when you're waiting, you don't want. Does anyone like when someone kind of cuts through and you are behind him or her, and then do you like that? No one likes it, right? Especially when you are saying, well, I'm standing for the last 30 minutes and you think you're more intelligent and just cutting through and getting in the line. There are like 100 people waiting, go back, right? So that was the scene. So just so that we can imagine what's going on. So now just quick question. Is this person who is running the show, is he doing all the activities himself? Right? Like cooking the food, making sure dal is cooked, then putting salt, putting, black pepper, and distributing plates, setting up tables. Is he doing all that activities himself? No, right? There are different assistants, his helpers, servants, whatever you may call. His different energies are working, his employees, etc. But they're working under his direction, right? They're working because this person is the main director of the show. But he may be just kind of maybe even resting in his room, or maybe doing something totally different, but the whole show may be run. But he just thought, okay, let me check what's going on. Let me check what's going on. And then no one knew who is he, because people come for food, not not who is providing the food, right? They come for their plate of food. And then suddenly he went a little closer in the middle of the line, and then someone said, oh, no, don't try to cut in. Don't try. We have been waiting for 30 minutes. Don't try to get in the line. Go back, right? He was wearing simple clothes, so no one. So that's exactly what happens. So Krishna comes in the human form, and people think he's also like an ordinary human. He's also like us, who's come here for free food, and he's trying to cut through the lines. They don't know that he's running the show, right? Another example, the CEO or the owner of the company, the employees may not even know him or her, right? That person may be living in, maybe let's say Switzerland, or doing some vacation, and may never show up, right? And there's a structure in every company, the managers and their managers and their manager. There is a structure. Everyone is working under reporting to a manager, and vice versa. But the owner is the one who's running the show. Is now all the activities and everything, are these managers reporting to the owner what's going on? No, they are just they may not even know the name of the owner, right? But if sometimes the owner comes, they may be totally oblivious, and they may think, oh, he has also come for a job or something, like all of us, and they ask, hey, why are you kind of running around? Why you didn't park your car properly, or why you didn't do this thing or that thing? Why are you just wasting time? Why you didn't get back to work? They may not know that he is the Supreme Lord. So through different examples, we can understand that he is the one running the show. But we discussed the point of deity also last time, that yes, he's running the show, but we need the form of deity so that we can reciprocate. Now the impersonalists don't believe in that. Why? Again, fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know. Param bhavam na jananto. They do not know. They are avajananti mamuda. So same thing. They do not know that he is the supreme, Param Bhava, the supreme Lord. And we discussed through some practical real life situations as well. So now let's see what happens to those people who act like this. Text number 12. Someone like to read? Yes, Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Moga sha moga karmano moga jnana vichetasa rakshim ashurim jaiva prakritim mohinim shita. Those who are thus bewildered and attracted by demonic and atheistic views, in that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation Their fruitive activities and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Hare Krishna.
Very Bol. Thank you so much. So in short, they will never get success in any aspect of life, right? Those who do not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, this is not a very fanatic statement. This is Bhagavad Gita, the manual of life. Those who don't accept God as a person, very, very important. Those who don't accept God as the person, Moga Asha, baffled in their hopes. Asha means hope. Moga Asha, baffled in their hopes. Moga Karmanaha, they're baffled in their fruitive activities also, karma. Moga Jnana, baffled in their knowledge. So, knowledge is jnana. So, they will not derive the results of culturing knowledge. And what is the ultimate object of culturing knowledge? To understand the Supreme Lord. Rakshasim, Asurim, Rakshasa, Asura, demoniac, atheistic people. Cha eva, certainly, Prakritim Mohinim Shritaha. They have taken shelter of this bewildering material nature. In short, they have not taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we will continue to struggle in this material world, birth after birth, punarapi janaram, punarapi maranam, continuing our birth again and again. There is a nice line here, Prabhupada is mentioning. Krishna consciousness and devotional service. There are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart, they do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service going back to Godhead will never be tasted. So in short, those who do not accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord, the absolute truth, for them, they will never get to the ultimate destination. In chapter 16 also, some of you have learned this verse. Yah shastra vidhim utsrijya vartate kamakaratah na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatihi. They will not achieve happiness, what to speak of peace, what to speak of the topmost destination. In short, all their activities will end up in moga. Their ashas will be baffled, their karmas will be baffled, their jnana will be baffled. In short, everything will result in failure. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also mentions this. When the Samudra Manthan was going on, right? Samudra Manthan was going on. The two parties were the demons and the divine. Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that the demons were doing the same thing as the suras and the asuras. The devatas were also present. The rope was the same Vasuki. The mountain was same. The ocean was same. The activity done was same, isn't it? Everything was pretty much the same. The intention was also same. What? To get the nectar. But what was different? One was doing it under the direction of Lord to please the Lord, and one was doing it against the direction of the Lord, keeping Krishna out of the whole picture and for selfish self-interest or sense gratification. Then the results are totally different. If an activity done keeping Krishna away, then that activity is basically leads to material bondage, right? The same activity done keeping Krishna as the center, that becomes a cause of liberation. Can anyone tell any verse which clicks in your mind in this connection? Anyone would like to try? It's in chapter 3, actually. Very nice verse for those who are trying to learn. 3.9. Important verse. 3.9. Very true, and to share.
No, I don't think, Prabhu, that's right. Is it the Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam?
Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam, it's in chapter
Yovam yo
4.
veti tatvatah tyaktva deha punarjanma neti mameti so Arjuna.
That's nice. That's about understanding of the Supreme Lord. Very
Okay.
good fit, but I think this one fits better. So you want to read this one, 3.9. You able to see my screen? Have you Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, I can see. यजनार्था कर्मणो नत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनाः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्ता समाचर. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. Hari Bol.
Very good. Such a nice verse. Thank you. So as we discussed in the Samudra Manthan Leela also, the activity was same, the place was same, the effort is same, everything is same, but what is different? For whose pleasure are we doing it? Isn't it? Am I doing it for Atmendra Priti Vancha Tare Bole Kam, Krishnera Priti Ichha Dhare Prema Nam? That is the difference between prema and kam. Prema is love. When done for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, it becomes prema or love. When done for the pleasure of I, me, my extended family, my selfish interest, then it's lust. So a devotee also has home. A non-devotee also has. A devotee has a job, a non-devotee has a job. A devotee has car, non-devotee has car. Devotee goes to school, non-devotee also goes. Devotee goes to college, so is a non-devotee. So it's not that the activities change, right? It's not, devotee also wants to get good grades, the non-devotee also wants. But the intention, yagyat, what's this? Yagya arthat karmanonyatra. Yagya artha. Yagya here refers to Lord Vishnu. One of his name is Yagya. Loko yam karma bandhana. Tad artham karma konteya. So, yagya artha. That's a keyword. For whose pleasure am I doing? For the pleasure of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Then it becomes, it free from, it purifies, or it becomes a cause of liberation. The same activity done for one's own pleasure becomes a cause of bondage. So the avajananti mam muda, their hopes are baffled, their karmas are baffled, their gyan is baffled, everything is baffled. In short, they'll continue to suffer in this material world because of not taking to Guru Sadhu Shastra, because of lack of understanding of the Supreme Lord. Manushya Janama Paya, Radha Krishna Na Bhajiya, Janiya Shuniya, Vishay Khainu. Having attained this precious human form of life, not taking to the path of bhakti or yagyarthat will lead to just futile endeavors. Because life is short. Life is short. What can happen tomorrow? We don't know, right? And one day will be the last day. That is very, very certain. So before that day comes, the goal of life is to take full shelter of the Lord. So Prabhupada is mentioning one more beautiful line here, which I'm going to share. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature. And as soon as one is liberated from this material world, there is no difference between God and himself. In short, they want to become God. Or they say, okay, right now I'm not God, but I will become God very soon. This attempt to be one with Krishna, or the impersonal liberation, the Sayujya Mukti, will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic demonic cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. In short, it's waste. It is good for nothing. So we should be very, very careful and not even associate with such people, those who are very fixed in wrong conceptions of spiritual life. Dandadharyena matrena nar narayan bhavet. They say, okay, right now I'm an illusion, but once I get sannyas, then I hold dandadharyena matrena narayan bhavet. Nar will become Narayan. There'll be no difference between the two. But that is nonsense. Krishna did not have to take sannyas to become Narayan, right? God is God, even in the lap of his mother, right? And he will always remain God. And those who try to compete God will become dog. Prabhupada said, if you try to become God, you will become dog. Because God remains God. So there is no competition. And the real thing we are here is to try to compete to God. That's why we are here suffering. Okay, so now we'll move on to the next verse. Sorry, looks like somehow my internet is having some issues. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, so we'll read the next verse, text number 13 here.
Okay, Prabhuji. Shall I read?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Mahatma stu ma parth devi prakritima shrita bhajantayanneya manso kyatva bhutadhim vyayam. Jai Shri Krishna. Shall I read the meaning? O son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Shall I read the purport?
Thank you, Mataji. Let's see if anyone else would also like to read.
Okay.
This is a very important verse, so we can read the whole purport. Maybe anyone else wants to try, who hasn't got a chance.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
In this verse, the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is this affected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. That is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as a living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So when one is promoted in that way, by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains to the stage of the great soul, Mahatma. The Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. There is no doubt about it. Such a Mahatma or great soul develops through association with other Mahatmas, pure devotees. Pure devotees are not even attracted by Krishna's other features, such as the four-armed Mahavishnu. They are simply attracted by the two-armed form of Krishna. They are not attracted to other features of Krishna, nor are they concerned with any form of a demigod or of a human being. They meditate only upon Krishna in Krishna consciousness. They are always engaged in the unswerving service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Such a beautiful purport, especially the second paragraph. Each and every line is so powerful. I mean, every line, but some lines really strike our heart. So let's see this verse. In the text 11 and 12, we discuss about the Duratma or the Mudas, those who do not take shelter, those who think I am God, or those who think there is no God, or those who think God is impersonal, anywhere in between. And we discuss what will be the outcome of that. They will be baffled. Moha, Moga Asha, Moga Karma, Moga Jnana, everything will be in Moga, and the life will be in Moga and in illusion, baffled, in short, never achieve the success of life. But now Krishna is talking about the Mahatmas. What are the Mahatmas? Mahatmanastu mam Partha. Arjuna is addressed as Partha, the son of Pritha, referring to Kunti. Pritha is the name of Kunti. Partha is his son, her son, Arjuna. Devim prakritim ashritaha. They have taken shelter of the divine nature. They are not under the grip of the illusory nature. They have taken shelter of the divine nature, my internal energy. And what do? Bhajanti ananya manaso, ananya bhakti. Bhajati, bhaja, worship. They are rendering unalloyed devotion. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kuru nandana. Single pointed, like how Arjuna was focused on the eye of the bird. How a businessman or a business person is focused only on one goal. What is the goal? To improve the profits of the company. How I can get more money. That's their single one-pointed attention in the business, right? Similarly, Krishna says, Vyavasayatmika buddhi. A devotee should be fixed in the instruction of the spiritual master to please Lord Krishna. And Krishna only. Maam ekam sharanam vraja. Not Krishna and 5 million other people and other. I love Krishna, but I also love 29 other demigods, right? Or I have everyone, and then I do my arti, and then everyone will take their share. so Prabhupada is very clear. I'm just repeating. It may sound a little heavy, but I'm just repeating. Prabhupada is mentioning here that they are attracted even in the forms of the Lord, the two-handed, two-armed form of Krishna, right? The pure devotees, of course. That does not, mean we cannot worship other forms, but this is the level of the great souls, Mahatmas. Now one may ask, okay, how are Mahatmas? Are they? Can I be a Mahatma? Who all want to be a Mahatma? Raise your hand. Right? Anyone wants to be? Basically, it's the same question. Who all want to become a pure devotee? Right? Because pure devotees are Mahatmas, right? They have fully taken shelter. So thank you. So a lot of devotees want to become pure devotee. What about others? Right? At least we should have the aspiration. We may not be pure devotee at the current time, but we should have the aspiration to become a pure devotee. Isn't it? And that's why we are here, to become pure devotee. ISKCON is a hospital to make from poor devotee to pure devotee. We may be poor devotee, poor in the sense lack of taste in hearing, chanting, bhajan, kirtan, poor not by wealth, poor in bhakti, right? Lack of absorption, which is fine. But therefore, we have taken admission in this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, so that we can become pure devotee. And Prabhupada is mentioning here how to become a pure devotee. The formula is very simple. Such Mahatma or great soul or pure devotee, all these are same points, develops through the association with other Mahatmas. How did Narad Muni become Narad Muni? Anyone knows? Anyone remembers the story? Yes, somebody?
By the association of the great santas,
Yeah.
before he was just
Yes.
a son of Dasiputra, I think.
Very nice. He was a Dasiputra. He got the Bhakti Vedantas used to come. The mother would serve, the mother would cook, and he would serve. And then he would take the remnants of those great Mahatmas. Vaishnavera Padadhuli, Vaishnavera Jal, Vaishnava Avashishta Tina Mahabhav. There is a lot of power in the remnants of the devotee, in the Jala, and in their Padadhuli. Basically, following the instructions of Mahatmas. Association means following their instructions. Association does not always mean like the physical proximity. It means how sincerely, eagerly. Now, Prabhupada is certainly a great Mahatma. And how can we be in association of Prabhupada? Anyone? Yes. Please.
Being in the association of all the devotees and other bhakta.
Yes, very nice. Prabhupada's family, ISKCON, those devotees in ISKCON who are sincerely serving. We are getting Prabhupada association because they're always repeating Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's lectures, Prabhupada's, Guru Puja. So in ISKCON is like Prabhupada is the foundation in each and every aspect of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So very nice. Any other thoughts?
By reading his books, Prabhu.
Yes, reading Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada really wanted to all the devotees in ISKCON to read Prabhupada's books. Yes, these are not Prabhupada, these are given by the Supreme Lord himself. Even Prabhupada would read Krishna book again and again, and all the books. And then devotees would ask, Prabhupada, you are the author, you have written these books. Prabhupada said, no, I didn't write these books. Krishna has written these books personally, right? So by distributing, by sharing, by following Prabhupada's instruction, all these ways, we will certainly become Mahatma. And this should be our aspiration. This should be our aspiration to become a pure devotee. This is the real goal of life, actually. Otherwise, we will keep taking birth again and again in the cycle of birth and death. So Vivasayatmika Buddhi. Now, Mahatmas, they are serving the divine energy. They are not serving the material energy. In short, they are cognizant that when to say yes, when to say no, saying no to the material sense gratification, saying yes to the process of bhakti. These are the Mahatmas. They are great souls. They are always engaged in serving the Supreme Lord. And this is basically Krishna consciousness. And that's why we are all here. Any thoughts, comments in this verse before we move to the next one? Okay, let's go and read the next one, 14. Yes, Avani?
Hare Krishna. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridha vrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upashate. Translation: always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Hare Krishna.
Very well, thank you. And this purport is also very, very important. So we'll read the whole purport. Maybe those who haven't got chance, we'll go one by one. Yes, Athar, you want to read the first paragraph?
Read it, right?
Which part? Oh, the Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. A Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in glorification of the Lord. In other words, he is not an impersonalist. When the question of glorification is there, when the question of glorification is there, one has to glorify the Supreme Lord by praising His holy name, His internal form, His transcendental qualities, and His uncommon pastimes. One has to glorify all these things. Therefore, Mahatma is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Wonderful. Thank you. So now here the qualities of Mahatma are shared. In the previous verse, we discussed that they are under the Devi Prakriti, the divine nature, and they are Ananya Manasa, with one pointed mind fixed, they are doing bhajan. Now, this tells more about the qualities. Can a Mahatma be by rubber stamp? Rubber stamp means externals, right? Putting a dhoti, kurta, tilak, or increasing the beard, increasing the hair, one does not become Mahatma, right? That means rubber stamp. If just putting rubber stamp or just putting a tilak or dhoti kurta, one becomes Mahatma, then it's very simple. Buy a nice dhoti or sari or kurta or tilak. It does not cost a lot. Maybe in India, you can get all those items for 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees. Maybe in the West, you can get for $20, $30. It doesn't take a lot, right? Then simple, spend $20, $30, become Mahatma, isn't it? That's rubber stamp. And therefore, we should not judge others by their clothes, right? And it's both ways. Someone may just wear the clothes of Mahatma, but inside be very shallow. And someone may not have the clothes of Mahatma, but inside very deep in the bhajan, kirtan, right? Now, Prabhupada is mentioning, so how can we understand? What are the symptoms? We are always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Is the main and very, very important quality. They're always absorbed. They are not running for name, fame, adoration. Oh, I am great. Oh, people should worship me because I am the Mahatma. They are rather running away from name, fame, adoration. They are just want to glorify Krishna, all glories to the Supreme Lord. And the more one grows spiritually, the more humble one gets. The more one wants to run away from one's own glories. And in the material life, the more one grows, the one wants more respect. Oh, I'm the CEO. Oh, I'm the vice president of the company. Oh, I'm the prime minister. Why are you not respecting me? Right? So material life and spiritual life, they're a little bit kind of opposite in this way. In spiritual life, we see Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, etc. Srila Prabhupada, they're not hungry for name. Of course, people would respect them because they would know that these are Mahatmas, but they are not asking. They're not demanding all those honor, etc. So we'll continue to read more of this purport. To achieve that success, he engages all activities, mental, body, vocal, everything in the service of the Lord. Sarvanam Kirtanam, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, etc. So this is what Mahatma is doing. They are serving the Supreme Lord in different ways, through body, through mind, through vocal, right? Krishna consciousness is full of variety. We can engage all of our senses, right? Right now we are sitting, we're engaging our body, we are engaging our ears, we're engaging our words, right? There's a nice verse in the Bhagavatam which we recently read. Vasudeva Katha Prashna Purusham Strin Punatihi Vaktaram Prichakam Shrotrams Tat Pada Salilam Yatha. Like Mother Ganga purifies the upper, middle, and lower planets, Vasudev Katha Prashna, the Krishna Katha purifies everyone, the one who speaks, the one who hears, and the one who asks questions, and anyone in between also. So therefore, we have to engage our body. Satatam Kirtayantama. In doing Kirtan. Kirti means glories, to glorify the Supreme Lord, His name, His qualities, His forms, Nama Kirtana, Guna Kirtana, Lila Kirtana, Rupa Kirtana, etc. So Kirtan is multiple ways. And especially when it's done with the association of devotees, it's called Sankirtana or Sat Kirtana, which is even more powerful when devotees come together And Krishna is personally present. Yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tisthami narada. This is a very, very nice line. Maybe would someone like to read this point? So then let's read this. Yes, Pooja Hataji, want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. As described in the second verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be performed in a happy mood. One does not need to undergo any severe penance and austerity. He can live this life in devotional service, guided by an expert spiritual master, and in any position, either as a householder or as a sannyasi or a brahmachari. In any position and anywhere in the world, he can perform this devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become actually Mahatma and a great soul. Hari.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? There's this purport, this portion of the purport. So what is it telling? Can a 10-year-old become Mahatma? Yes. Can a woman become Mahatma? Yes. Can a householder become Mahatma?
Yes.
Yes. Can a rich person become Mahatma?
Yes.
Can a poor person become Mahatma?
Yes.
Do they have to leave their home and go to forest to become Mahatma?
No.
Do they have to leave their job, their studies, their college to become Mahatma?
No.
Yes. Good, good, good. I think, isn't it so, bhakti is so easy and simple?
Yeah, it is.
That's what Prabhupada is mentioning. It's not a painful process. It's not a miserable process. It is a very, very joyful process. So it must be rendered in a happy mood. And it's easy. One does not need to stand on one leg and go to the Himalayas in the snow and practically with no clothes and stand in the snow and then chant and try to focus the mind on the Paramatma or Brahmajyoti. Very, very painful process. But what is Krishna is telling? Okay, chant Hare Krishna simply wherever you are. Sthane sthita shruti gatam. Engage in the process of bhakti wherever you are, in whatever condition you are. Whether we are 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 15, 20, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, rich, poor, black or white, male or female, Indian or American, whatever, that's all secondary. Anyone and everyone can engage their body, mind, and words in Krishna, right? In a very happy mood. So happy mood, it should not be forced. It shouldn't. It's done with a very joyful mood. And Krishna consciousness, there is so much variety. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. One can engage every aspect of one's life practically in Krishna consciousness, provided one is under a guidance of an expert spiritual master. So expert spiritual master helps us to guide, mentor how to make matter to spirit, right? For example, the activities will not change. The job will not change, the studies will not change, but the expert spiritual master will be able to help us to turn lust to love, to turn matter to spirit. Like how we turn the material food, right? When we buy some ingredients, it's a material food. But when we offer to Supreme Lord, it becomes transcendental. And how it happens? Under the guidance of an expert spiritual master. Same with our studies. Getting good grades is very, very material. But that same thing can become spiritual under the guidance of Guru, who helps us, whether one is brahmachari or householder. Every situation, everything, everyone can become Mahatma. So we must take guidance from expert spiritual master and learn how to be a Mahatma in my present situation, right? And do this process very, very happily, very, very important. It is not a miserable process. It is a very happy process. Any thoughts, comments in this connection anyone has? Okay, we'll go to the next one. Yes, Sampradaya, Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Jnana yajnena chapyanye yajanto mam upasate ekatvena prithaktvena bahudha visvato mukham. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, back to you.
Thank you so much. So the Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatmas. Okay, we discussed that. There is nothing, they know nothing but the Lord, and the Lord knows nothing but them. But yet, there are a few others who are not exactly Mahatmas. Mahatma can be interchangeably used for pure devotee. Yet there are others who are not exactly pure devotees. That means those who worship Krishna, but in different ways. There are different, they may have different motivation. They may not have ananya manaso. They may not be doing satatam kirtayantoma, but still they are doing something for Krishna. So referred to as basically impure devotion, right? So in chapter 7 also we learned that there are 4 kind of people. Chaturvidha bhajante ma jana sukritino arjuna arti jigyasur gyani cha bharatarshava. Those who are desire for wealth, they may approach the Lord. Desire for mukti, desire for son, daughter, husband, wife, home, car, so many things they may be desiring for, or desiring for relief from something. When will I get free from this disease? When will my fever get over? When will my this get over? When will my uncle get cured? When will my aunt get cured? When will my sardar get cured? All this problems. But Mahatmas don't approach. Prahlad Maharaj, Mahatma, pure devotee, didn't ask for anything, right? But Krishna also says, akama sarva kamova, whether you have no desires or all the desires, or desire for impersonal liberation, or any kind of desire for liberation, one must approach the Supreme Lord. Why? Because if a child approaches the father, even with wrong desires, the father is mature, the child may not mature. The child may say, well, I want chocolate. I want 10 chocolates. I want to eat 10 chocolates today. But the father knows that if I give him 10 chocolates, then his teeth will get bad and he will suffer throughout his life. And he'll have to go, like teeth pain is one of the tough pains, right? Some of us may have experienced. So he will suffer so much pain, suffering. So I will not give him. But when his teeth are good, maybe I'll give him like a very tiny portion of it. And when he's ready, I'll give him more. But right now he's not ready. Same Dhruva story. Dhruva approached the Lord to get kingdom greater than his great grandfather Brahma. But Brahma, he approached the Lord and he got. First, the Lord purified his desires and then gave him the kingdom. And then he ruled the kingdom in a very Krishna conscious way. So this is the power of the Supreme Lord. So even if one has desires, one must approach the Supreme Lord only. And that will be very, very helpful. But yet there are others who worship the Supreme Lord in his universal form. They're not pure devotees. The devotion is not pure, it's adulterated, it's mixed. It could be mixed with multiple things as mentioned here. Let's see. Okay. What are these points? Ekatvena. This is from the Gita Subodhani. They worship me in oneness. Ekatva. Everything is one. I'm one, he is one, we are all one. Right? Eka. I'll become God. This will be further elaborated in the 12th chapter. Prithakvena. They worship me in diversity. Prithak means different, right? Has many forms. Okay, everything is God, right? This is also God. All the demigods are also gods. So Krishna will elaborate that in 20th verse also. And then Vishvato Mukham, in this universal form. Basically, Prabhupada mentioned this as pantheism. Vishvarupa Upasana, this mountain, the rivers, everything is a part of the God, which is true, right? But it is not the highest understanding. So what is how do Mahatmas worship? Do they worship in these aspects? Who will answer? How do Mahatmas worship the Supreme Lord? We just read. Anyone? The trick question?
Tatvena Prabhuji.
No, we read Mahatma's worship. We discussed this verse is talking about impure devotion. Mahatma worship we discussed 2 verses back. The pure devotees, they don't worship God in oneness. Oneness basically thinking themselves as God. No, surely not. This is the monist, the impersonalist. They think I'll become God.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I think I made a mistake. Yeah. Yes.
No worries, Prabhupada. We are all learning from Bhagavad Gita from Prabhupada. That's fine. Mahatmas, we read the 2-handed form, right? Satatam kirtayanto mam. They're always absorbed in my worship in the 2-handed form. If I go back to that point, which verse was that? Text number 13. Yeah. Pure devotees are not even attracted by Krishna's other features. All these ekatvena, prithakvena, etc. are Krishna's other features. We are not denying that, isn't it? We are not denying that these are Krishna's features or energies. But Mahatmas don't worship in the indirect forms. Mahatmas worship the direct 2-handed form. Right? Therefore, we just read the bhajan. They're attracted to the Vrindavan pastimes. The 2-handed form, Krishna playing the flute, Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill, Krishna's Damodar Leela. All those are like 2-handed form of Krishna, right? So these are the Mahatmas. They don't, but we are not kind of demeaning these. We are just saying that they are on their journey to Mahatmas if they get association of Mahatmas, right? These ekatvena, parathakvena, vishvato mukham, they can also become Mahatmas if they take shelter of Mahatmas, those who are worshipping in the 2-handed form. So great Mahatmas are very, very rare. Now we see even in the worshipping the Supreme Lord, there are so many adulterations, isn't it? They're worshipping the Lord, but they are worshipping in different aspects. What to speak of? First, recently, Grace Nitai Sivani Mataji gave a nice class, which some of you may have attended on January 2nd. There are so many types of species of life, right? This, first of all, Krishna's creation, 1/4 is material world, 3/4 is spiritual world, isn't it? In the 1/4 material world, there are unlimited universes, material universes, where this is not just the only universe where we are living. We read last time in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, some of them have 1,000-headed Brahma heading it, some of them have 100, some of them have 1,000,000-headed. The universe where we live has a 4-headed Brahma, Chaturmukhi Brahma. Now, in this universe, there are 14 planetary systems and Garbhodaka Vishnu lying in the Garbhodaka Sagar. In these 14 planetary systems, there are different types of species, the 8.4 million. Just think about it. We're talking about the rarity of a pure devotee. How rare is a pure Mahatma? In this, out of those 400,000 are humans, right? So what percentage is that? Out of the 8.4 million species, 400 is who knows math? Anyone? That's about 4.5%, right? So 1% is 84,000. Okay, 1% is 84,000. 8,000 and 80,000 times 5 is 400,000. So a little less than 5%, right? So that's a so I think I need to start taking math classes for all the kids also. So anyways, jokes apart, or these, so the percentage of humans is very rare. Now in the humans, there are Aryans and there are non-Aryans. There are civilized beings and they are not civilized. In that there are righteous and the unrighteous. In that there are fruitive workers, karma kandas, and those who don't believe in the karma kanda. So majority are here. So first of all, majority are not Aryans. Even in those, majority is always the the branch which is not divided. Like 90%, 95% people are here only, isn't it? And again, among this branch also, a lot of people are just doing karma kanda. Very, very few are searching for the absolute truth. And in those, there are some want moksha, some want this ikatvena, and prakatvena, and vishwa. They're worshipping demigods, looking for siddhis, looking for some fruitive actions, reactions. Very, very few want to go to back home, back to Godhead. Very, very few even are trying to worship Krishna for getting the goal of human form of life. That is to go back home, back to Godhead. What are others doing? Oh, Krishna, give me this, give me that, give me home, give me car, give me job, give me wife, husband, daughter, son, get me free from diseases, as we discussed. Now, even those who want, okay, I want to become a Mahatma, right? Many people, many devotees said, isn't it? But if I ask how many you want to become Mahatma right now, that's very rare, right? Or how many are sincerely striving, trying to become Mahatma right now that means we are taking the process of bhakti very, very seriously. Okay, we may have desire to go back home, back to Godhead, but are our actions also aligned to that? Every day we hear this person died of car crash, this person dies of this disease, this person died of something or other. Still, I think I have 50 years, maybe, if not 50, maybe 40 for sure. Okay, 30 nowhere, 30, for sure, right? So that means I have a lot of time to work on my goal, right? So, and that leads to procrastination. That leads to delay. That leads to, and then what future will bring, we don't know. So therefore, Mahatmas are very rare. Mahatmas are very, very rare, and we must not delay. What happens for the Mahatmas? The whole material world, this is in connection to 14 and 15. Would someone like to read this verse? Who has not got a chance? Ms. Natasha Mataji, and to read, please. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Danvat pranam. Samashitaye padpallavaplavam Mahatpadam punyayasho murare Bhavambudirvatspadam param padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. For those who have accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, the enemy of the Mura demon, the ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's hoof print. Their goal is Parampadam, Vaikuntha, the place where there are no material miseries, not the place where there is danger at every step. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Such a beautiful words. The power of Pa here. Padam, padam, yad vipadam, na tesham. Pada, pada, pallava, plavam. Lot of peace. This is a poetic device used by Shubha Goswami. This is actually Brahmaji speaking. So those who take shelter of the boat of the lotus feet, such poetic or metaphorical language is used, like a poetic boat of the lotus feet, they will be free. The material miseries won't cause any harm to them. Why? Because in the ocean of material world, they have taken shelter of the boat of the Supreme Lord. And those who have taken shelter of Krishna, Mare Krishna Rakhe, there. When Krishna is there, and then who can harm his devotee? So Krishna is always protecting his devotee. So another beautiful verse in this connection, connected to 9.14. So let's read this one as well. Some of you may have already learned this. Who would like to try? Yes, Karim. Okay, Arundhati Mataji, please.
Okay. This verse, right? Okay. Sadhava Radham Mayam Sadhyam Hridayam Tav Aham Mad Anat Te Na Jayanti Mahan Devaya Manag Api. Sri Sri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hari Bol. Okay, translation. I'm going to read the translation, Prabhuji.
Sure, please.
The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them.
Wow, thank you. Isn't that beautiful?
Thank you. Yes.
So this sadhava referring to here as pure devotees or Mahatmas. Sadhavo hridayam mayyam sadhunam hridayam tavaham mat anyate na janati naham tebhyo managapi. Sadhavo hridayam mayyam sadhunam hridayam tavaham mat anyate na jananti naham tebhyo managapi. So you can try to learn this if anyone is inspired. What does that mean? Sadhava Hridayam Mahyam. So Lord Krishna himself, Lord Vishnu himself speaking this verse actually to Shukracharya when he goes after trying to kill Ambrisha. He goes when Vishnu's Sudarshan Chakra was after Shukracharya, was running for protection here and there, everywhere, mountains, caves, valleys, Brahmaloka, Kailasha. He went and ultimately went to Vishnuloka and he said, "You have hurt my devotee. My devotees are my life and soul. They are always in the core of my heart, my Mahyam, Hridayam Mahyam. They are in my heart. And what about the devotees? The pure devotees, I am in their heart." As Prabhupada is mentioning, Arjuna, that those purely in Krishna consciousness, they do not know anything. This is the first line of the purport of text 15. They do not know anything other than Krishna. They are called Mahatmas. They are the real sadhus. They are the pure devotees. Mat anyate na janati. They do not know. That does not mean that they are fools, that they do not know how to do 2 plus 2 or 5 plus 7. That's not the meaning. It means their heart is always absorbed in Krishna. And what about Krishna? Krishna says, my heart is always absorbed in them. I do not know anything but them. That means a devotee is constantly thinking about Krishna and Krishna is constantly thinking about his devotee. This is the wonderful reciprocal relationship between the Lord and his devotee. And it applies the other ways also. As we approach the Lord will reciprocate accordingly. Yatamam prapadyanti tam sataya bhajamyaham. If Krishna is 987th priority in our life, then we will be 987th in Krishna's list also. If Krishna is 9,099,099 in our list, then we will be also similar in his list. But Krishna, if we set our priority, our day, our life, keeping Krishna as our first priority, and rest everything around it. Right? A devotee manages the job, health, studies, academics, relationships, career, everything, keeping the main focus as Krishna consciousness. A non-devotee also manages health, life, relationships, career, studies, college, school, but the focus is me, my senses, right? So what is the priority? For a devotee, if you have to become Mahatma, then you have to set Krishna as the priority. If not, then it may take a very long time, right? And we don't know what will happen in that long time. So these are, some, I'll kind of take a pause here. So we covered about Duratma, we covered about the Avajananti Mamuda, we discussed who are Mahatmas, we discussed there are others impure with adulterated devotion. If Krishna is not priority in our life, then we will be a backseat in his life. Okay, so I want to pause here and maybe take some reflections, thoughts, or questions if anyone has. Thank you so much for your time as well. So would anyone like to share any thoughts or questions, comments, clarifications, corrections? I'm open to hearing from all of you. Yes, please unmute and speak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and Pranam. Yeah, you very nicely explained about the Mahatmas, and you said that even rich, poor, small, old, young, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, anybody can become Mahatma. Only thing is they have to make Krishna as their priority. If Krishna is their priority is number one, and Krishna also makes him as number one priority, and he'll be eligible to become Mahatma. Thank you, Prabhuji. That is very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. It's an excellent reflection. Prabhupada was talking about the 12 Mahajanas, basically Mahatmas, and some disciples said, Prabhupada, you are the 13th. And Prabhupada said, okay, you become the 14th. So that means Prabhupada really wants all of us to become Mahajan or Mahatmas or pure devotees in short. Thank you. Okay, yes, Varna Mataji, you have something on mind?
For first time I came to know the true meaning of Mahatma. Otherwise, I was in a fix. Mahatma means super soul who can convince others. But today I came to know Mahatma can be anyone who, with his or her utter devotion, tries to reach to our eternal Lord. Thank you for knowing it.
Thank you, Shri Prabhupada, for so explicitly mentioning it. The Mahatmas are those who are completely attached to the two-armed form of Krishna. That's very specific definition. They're not just God believers. Prabhupada didn't name the society as International Society for God Consciousness, right? Or International Society of Morality, right? Or International Society for Piety, right? Some people said that you can get more audiences. Already there is so much hodgepodge in the world on the name of God, right? As we discussed in the beginning. So this is International Society for Krishna Consciousness to help us make Mahatmas, to help make pure devotees. So thank you. Okay, yes, Karina, what's on your mind?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I want to just share something on today's lecture. Ever so often, I would discuss family and myself as my always to put Krishna in the forefront in whatever our circumstances or whatever daily activities. We always try to remember that Krishna, if we want to become good devotees, we have to put Krishna in the center. So I just want to share. Thank you so much for wonderful reminding us.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you to you and all your family for always putting Krishna as the #1 priority. Actions speak louder than words. So thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
We go. Yes, Ravi Prabhu, want to share something? Yeah.
Yes, Parvati, I also got really, like it was very nice to know. I mean, the Bhagavad Gita already Krishna has said in 7:14, and I didn't know this. I just figured out with my sheet that I have that he says, once you surrender to me, I'm the one who will deliver you from this material nature, because it's very hard to overcome the material nature. We either operate in one of these modes, sometime goodness, sometime passion, sometime in ignorance. But once we keep our faith and surrender unto him 100%, then yes, we are operating beyond this material nature, and that is a divine nature. So that is really also very much like very easy solution how to overcome the nature, material nature. Just surrender to Krishna. So I like that, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Rupa Goswami mentions in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that person who is constantly engaging his body, mind, and words in the service of the Supreme Lord, constantly engaging in the service of Lord Krishna, Jivan Mukta Sauchate, that person is liberated even though in this world. That person is not aspiring even to go to Vaikuntha or back home. That person is liberated even in the up, down, planets, heaven, hell, because Narayana Parasarve na kutashna vipidyati swarga apavarga narkeshu apitulyatha darshina. Because such person is always Krishna conscious. Swarga, narka, it doesn't really matter for them because they are Narayana Parayana, they're completely devoted to Krishna. And that's what we are aspiring for. At least it should in the heart, the goal should be there, intention should be there, and corresponding efforts should be there, and Krishna will see and help us out. Okay, any one or two last comments, questions, addition? Yes?
I have one.
Yeah, please.
Can I?
Yes, please.
Lord Krishna opened the door for everyone. It doesn't, to come to him, you don't have to say, I'm a Hindu, or you just, if you want to believe him, he gonna take you with an open arm. Where the other religions, you have to follow their rules and regulations, But our Krishna Dharma is for everyone. Whoever wants to believe him, Krishna will love him. That's what I want to say.
Thank you. That's such a beautiful reflection. Yes. Because all these designations, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, black, white, rich, poor, male, female, all these are upadhis or designations, which are based on our false identity. That is the body, or the place I was born, or the color of my skin. These are false designation, but real designation is Krishna's servant. Jivira Swarupai Krishna Nityadas. So, and yes, and eternally we are all the spirit soul. So everyone has the full right to worship the Supreme Master. So thank you. That's a wonderful comment. Okay, Sampada's comment, last one.
I actually had a question. I was just eager to know, just like there are millions of universes, are there also like millions of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnus?
Yes. In each universe, Garbhodakshai Vishnu is present. And then he creates the Brahmaji from his navel. Where we are, that's our Chaturmukhi Brahma universe. So the answer is yes. Thank you. Very inquisitive. Good. Okay, so I think it's time, and I'm so blessed and grateful to all of you for your wonderful association, your time. And this helps us to get closer to the path of pure devotion. So thank you so much. Bhagavad Gita Upanishad ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktarinda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol. Hari Bol.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.